As you probably guessed, this is the new Sony pairing, the top two smartphones in its lineup, with similar specs and yet different form factors, the Xperia Z3 and the Z3 Compact. Yes, it's only been 6 months since the Z2, and Sony is clearly pushing out fast incremental updates, but they're having an effect. The Z3 and its Compact are most definitely the best in the series yet. They're not perfect, quite, but they're very close. The two are pretty much identical in terms of internals too. A 2.5 gigahertz processor each, with 3 gig of RAM here and 2 gig on the Compact, and a light Android skin, meaning that the two devices both fly whatever you're doing. It's just quick, quick, quick. The displays are both very good. We're talking IPS LCD here with software enhancements like X Reality, but the end product is that clarity and colours are excellent indoors. Outdoors, they can't quite match Nokia's patented CBD polarizers, but the screens are still readable most of the time. The most noticeable change from the Z2 is that everything's now rounded, continuing the refinement since the original Z slab. The curved metal edges here on the Z3 and the curved plastic on the Compact, on top of a metal frame, I think, plus nylon protectors on all four corners, not only feel good in the hand, gosh, am I really saying that about Sony Z devices? But they're going to come off well if the phone is dropped, which is normally on a corner. Well done, Sony. Also well done for providing the choice of sizes. Some will prefer the larger 5.2-inch 1080p screen version with larger bezels to match, perhaps for watching media and clearer web browsing. Others will want to go for the smaller 4.6-inch 720p screen Compact, which has much smaller bezels and is a genuine phone-sized phone, yet with top-notch internal specs. Both phones have 16GB internal disks, of which about 11GB is available out of the box, plus micro SD. This latter is inserted via one of several waterproof flaps on each device, now even sleeker and, in theory, waterproof. Though am I the only person to be a little paranoid and not want to put the 30-minute immersion claim to the test on such a valuable device? But it's good to know that a brief dunk or a shower will be absolutely no problem. The glossy bodies are both fingerprint magnets, of course, to some extent, but less so than for previous models. There does seem to be some Sony oleophobic coating magic here. There are lanyard eyelets towards the bottom of both devices, though actually feeding a lanyard loop through is a bit fiddly. Both devices feature front-mounted stereo speakers. They're decently loud, but not quite up to the quality of HTC's best. There's a bit of Deep Purple for you, Mr. Steve Morse. I know. Haruki's better than Richie, though. Not bad. I still wonder whether the waterproofing does somehow limit the EQ in the speakers, though. Sealed in are the batteries, 3100 milliamp hours here for the Z3 and 2600 for the Compact, but battery life has been stellar in my tests. Add in all of Sony's stamina, ultra stamina, data queuing settings, add in the use of Nokia-style display memory to preserve content with slower screen refresh rates, and I think you could quite easily get 2 days of use from either of these Android smartphones, which is quite impressive. Before I get to software, I have to comment on one negative, the cameras. Now, don't get me wrong, the original, say, Z1 camera was okay for its time, LED flash and overzealous noise reduction and sharpening notwithstanding. A year or so later, it's obvious that things will have improved, surely. No. In all my tests, and you can see all about Windows Phone, where I did a head-to-head with the likes of the 1520 and the 930, the Z3 and Z3 Compact camera showed all the flaws that the Z1 original had. It may be a 1/2.3-inch sensor with 21 megapixel resolution, but its oversampled 8 megapixel output was consistently bested by the 5 megapixel output from just about every Nokia I have here and by every Samsung. Sony has a problem here and it's completely ignoring it. I know other manufacturers like Apple use Sony's sensors and do much more with them, so I'm inclined to blame the Sony engineers in the phone division for underperforming on an epic scale. In theory, there's Nokia-style oversampling. In practice, there's little evidence. In theory, there's lossless zoom. In practice, it's uncontrollable and rubbish. And all of this could be fixed with better low-level sampling algorithms and better camera control. For example, when zooming. Very disappointing, and yes, both cameras are identical. After the big build-up I just gave them, and especially given Sony's own overarching advertising slogan for these devices, demand great, the camera came as a blow. There's no OIS on board either for more stable video, and the digital stabilization is limited. You can record at 4K, but only in short bursts. Otherwise, the Snapdragon 801 processor overheats. Yes, really. Though this is in fact, in fairness, in common to all other 801-based devices trying to do the 4K trick. As a pair of Android smartphones, though, the Sony pair are right up with the pack. Normobs will struggle a little to get past the immense push of all of Sony's content. The default home screen is all Sony, Sony, Sony. Browsing through the Android app folders, there's Walkman, Movies, PlayStation, Sony Select, Video Unlimited, Play Games, and much more. Plus the completely useless Garmin navigation, Xperia Lounge, AVG, antivirus, and so on. That's a lot of bloat if you choose to view it all that way. Maybe a Normod would like it in the Sony universe. Anyone watching this show, however, will simply resolve to hide or install it all and use the Z devices as a pair of fast Android machines, which is what they are. Now, leaving aside camera underperformance, which of these two would I pick? Without question, the Z3 Compact, which fits my hand perfectly, has a larger screen to bezel ratio and offers just about everything the larger phone does in a more pocketable and less obtrusive form factor. To give you an idea, the Compact is the best part of an inch shorter and a third of an inch narrower, yet with a screen that's only just over half an inch shorter in diagonal. If you're not fussed over ultimate camera quality, and if you're prepared to work around the Sony store bloatware, then I can recommend these latest Z series hardware, especially at the Compact's price around £350, all in including taxes. The bigger Z3 is still way over £500 as I record this.